Hi Scorpio, welcome to your January 2025 AstroTarot with me, Raphael. I just want to say a massive thank you so much. I heard from a lot of you about what you wanted and what you needed. I got so many messages. So here, these are back. Stay tuned because there's a lot of things happening and changing and shifting this year once more. You know, I got Uranus moving through my 10th house. What do you want from me? All right, so before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let me pop these to the side. And these to this side. And so the first transit that I want to explore for you is now this does perfect over between the 1st and the 3rd of the month. Obviously I'm getting these out. I think you're getting these the day after I recorded them. So we kind of just missed this one, but I still think it's relevant, especially because this transit that I'm going to talk about, Mars opposing Pluto across your fourth and your 10th houses. This is, first of all, it's a big deal because it's in an angular set of houses, right? So it's creating a certain amount of tension in that space to start with. The other thing that you need to think about or consider here as well, Mars is you, right? And as if that wasn't enough of a layer, this is the second pass in a trilogy of transits, right? So we had the first one when Mars came into Leo and moved all the way up to 6 degrees. We're having the second one now as it passes to go retrograde back into the sign of Cancer. And we're going to have the third one later on this year as Mars turns direct, moves through the rest of Cancer and comes back into the sign of Leo. So this is the second of 2 connections of this transit that you're getting, so it's worth paying attention to. Now, that being said, Mars is your ancient ruler, so the sun is actually in Capricorn. I like to put it in the sign that we're on, so that, because a lot of people, like, sometimes I end up saying the wrong sign at the beginning and it stresses everybody out. So I've got into the habit of putting the sun in the sign that I'm talking about so that you know we're on about that sign. So this is definitely for Scorpio. All right, and what this says to me, Mars being your ruler in a fellow fire sign, but it is retrograde, right? And your ruler does not like to be retrograde. Of all of the planets, Mars is the one that hates to go retrograde the most. It also, for you, rules, where are you, Aries, your 6th house of your physical health and vitality and routine. So now, because your ruling planet rules 2 spaces in the chart that really relate to your health, the fact that this is in the 10th house means that other people's stuff could be having, like, if you're finding at the moment you've got health problems or challenges, you know, I hope you haven't, but if you have, it may have a lot to do with what is expected of you, or where you're kind of feeling the pressure or the weight of other people's expectations, or maybe even the pressure and the weight of the expectation that's coming from the external world, or maybe even some kind of authority figure. Now, the 1st through the 3rd, this transit is going to perfect. This is across your 4th house, 10th house axis. This is a viscerally felt axis. Your 4th house, your home, family, property, real estate, where you live, who you live with, your personal or your emotional makeup, your roots, right? Who you really are at that core level. And then your 10th house, the most public. So this is one of the most private. This is one of, if not the most public. Now, tensions might be arising in your career or your public life, especially as that Mars retrograde, you are going retrograde in the 10th house of ambitions, while Pluto in the 4th house of home and family is bringing the intensity to the private world. So there's some kind of shift or change that's happening here at this moment in time that could be affecting the career, or maybe some kind of shift or change on the home front that's affecting the career, and vice versa. Now, excuse me. This could be like a tug of war, right? An external, between your external responsibilities and your emotional needs. It's maybe even a power struggle with an authority figure or a family member that might come to a head. And it's pushing you to assert yourself in new ways because this is retrograde, right? So it could be an old argument or issue that comes up with a family member or an authority figure. And it kind of forces you to say, actually, no, you know what, you're pushing too far or too close to my boundaries. And this is where I need to stand up up for myself. It's possible that this could blow over or could boil over because it's quite an intense transit on its own. It's explosive. The nature of this combination can be explosive. It's a time for you to redefine what success means to you and also to confront any toxic patterns around your professional or personal life. It's a physical or creative outlet that really could provide, because remember Mars also rules your 6th house and Pluto for you rules you. So some kind of physical outlet, or maybe it's doing something that really creates a deeper sense of control over, okay, I can't manage my career, or, you know, my boss happens to be in control. That's cool. But I can micromanage or plan my routines or my world the way that I want to, right? It's like seizing power and control wherever you can so that you don't feel, you know, totally dominated in some way, unless you're into that kind of thing. Right, Raph. So jokes aside, right, and yours is the sign of power. And so this could be where you kind of say to yourself, you know what, I need to take my power back here. That physical outlet or creating a routine of your choice may really help alleviate that. It's a turning point for stepping into your power. It could be that you're having to be a bit more mindful about how you wield that power, especially of how it sort of comes across in the world or on the wider world stage in some way. And I will say, watch out for making rash decisions at the moment, especially because all eyes sort of seem to be on you with Mars, your ruling planet, right there in the 10th house. So it's like you are very visible and how you behave is going to be very much under scrutiny. Not that most Scorpios actually give a shit, to be fair. Alright, so, and I mean, you know, hello, Aquarius sun here, right? You know, that's a total compliment coming from me. Now, that being said, let's get some detail from the cards and see what's going on here. So, for this, you have the Empress, right? So, truthfully speaking, this is about you finding more joy and pleasure and ease from your career or your social status. And it's suggesting, especially because with the 4th house is implicated, and at the time of this transit, Venus is just at the tail end of your 4th house. So bringing that in might need to help. You've got this with the 10 of Wands, so potentially some kind of shift or change around a home or a living situation is going on. And you've got this with the Ace of Pentacles. Now, a few ways that this could show up. It could be that some of you are having to, like on a foundational level of your home, it could be that you're having to check the foundations of the home or have the home underpinned. It could also be that a lot of you are driving towards completing a home purchase and or sale at this time. If you are going for this, it looks like it bodes very well in your favor. I am going to say with that 10 of Wands here, though, it will be disruptive by its very nature. And in all fairness and truth, you know, this is actually one of the better ways that this could play out. What it also tells me as well is that when it comes to your finances, your money and your resources, it may be that what you're pursuing at the moment will bring wealth, but it will be over a longer period of time. So you might not necessarily be collecting the material goods from whatever you're doing in the career just yet. And it may be that the home and living situation and the career sector are sort of bouncing off of each other at the moment. Just know that eventually it will regulate and you will get the results on a tangible level that you're looking for. So, excuse me. When it comes to the second transit that I want to look at, Venus is going to move into the sign of Pisces, where she is exalted, moving into your 5th house of pleasure, joy, romance, creativity. Venus loves to be in the 5th, right? So the 5th house is said to be a joyous house for Venus, and because she's in the sign of Pisces, it's like she gets a double exaltation boost, which is really, really nice energy. Venus is highlighting so for you, obviously, your 5th, for everybody, your 5th house represents creativity, joy, romance. It's your children, it's your creative endeavors and pursuits, it's your style, right? Your self-expression is the 5th house as well. Anything that you derive joy or pleasure or enjoyment from is the 5th house. it's sex, and it's the butterflies when you just meet someone and you start dating. If you're single, this could be a time where you're dating dating up a storm, or as Nadia Shah likes to say, you're getting your flirt on, which is always welcome, right? Now, another way that this could play out if you're partnered already, it's just bringing that spark back to the relationship, which is wonderful because there seems to be a shared vision or goal. Venus brings harmony, connection, she brings diplomacy, all of that. It could be that you're bringing more joy and creativity to your life. So hobbies like singing and music and artsy things could really be lighting up your world at this moment in time. Venus is also money, so your creative endeavors could be bringing, financial recompense or source of income in at this moment. That could also be really nice. Now, Venus for you rules your 12th house and your 7th house. Could be that some of you are hearing from an old partner if you're single and you're looking. This could be reconnections with people from the past that could show up for you. Another way this potentially could go is because it's Venus in the 5th as well. Like if you have any speculative endeavors, especially where you are investing on somebody else's say-so. Now, I will say, whenever this is the case, vet the information, especially if money is involved. But this could be, gaining some important or not important, but some pertinent information where investing or gambling in some way, shape or form could come in. If you're looking to get into a health and fitness regime at this moment in time, Venus makes it a lot easier and you see results that much quicker. Now remember, Venus is going to move out of Pisces by the end of the month and go into the sign of Aries, but on the 2nd of March she will retrograde. She's going to retrograde in Aries, and then all over the course of the retrograde she's going to come back into the tail end of Pisces. So she is slowing down at the minute. Now, 5th house, that self-expression, is encouraging you to lean into what really feels good for your soul. Be mindful of overindulgence at this time, or escapism through, especially through things like doing things for a performative sort of like, yes, and it's not to say that we can all be prone to this. I don't care what sign you are, to be completely honest with you. We can all sometimes get stuck in the trap of seeking that external validation. So just watch out for that at this time. It could be a time for you to connect to what really brings you joy or what really matters to you. And also, trust that Venus will bring the right soothing balm to this space of your life. For this, you've got the World card, so this could bring in new connections, new social connections and interactions. Very likely to see you taking something to the next level, which is great. You've got this with the Fool card, potentially partnering up with an Aquarius, potentially partnering up with new people, new social circles could be coming in here for you as well. Remember, the 5th house it's a chum's house as well, right? So that could be really nice. And you've got this with the 3 of Pentacles. Your collaborations and collaborative sector this year, or in January, should I say, and as a result of this transit, is absolutely wide open. This is a great time for learning, and it's a great time for good, pertinent, new information that brings blessings. So love that for you. It looks like a lot of you could be going on to do some form of study as well. But it's more of like I'm doing this for a hobby or something to enjoy. It's not like this is going to be my side hustle kind of energy. Now, that being said, on the 8th of the month, I'm opening up a few slots. I say a few slots. I won't be doing any Zoom work or personal work now until April. I've got too many other big projects on the go. So one of the ones that I am opening up is on the 8th of January. I'll be releasing a certain amount of slots where you're going to work with me 2.5 to 3 hours. We're going to plan your year meticulously, right? So if you're interested in that, stay tuned, check out the socials, make sure you keep an eye out on the YouTube community tab, because it's going to be big, right? And the reason I keep these small is so that I can actually give you my time and effort and energy. And on top of that, at the end of January, I'll be releasing the next 10 slots for my Work With Me for 3 months program. Lots of exciting stuff to happen. As I say, I'm not doing one-to-one readings at the moment. It's all recorded readings so that I can get them to you in your own time. But if you actually want to spend time with me one-to-one, face-to-face, these are two things that are coming up over the course of this month. And I wanted to give you a heads up so that you've got time to, to get your slot. Now, the next transit that I want to explore for you is Mars on the 6th of January is moving back into the sign of Cancer, into your 9th house. This is your ruling planet moving back into the house of your beliefs, foreign travel, higher learning. It's stirring up the frustrations or potentially unresolved issues in these areas. It might be that it's helping you release or remove some kind of baggage around a belief system. Maybe you grew up in a really religious household and this is helping you rid yourself of some of this stuff. It's not going to be easy. It will be irritating. It potentially is even challenging, or maybe even, makes you really frustrated or brings the tears, right? Mars in Cancer is angry tears, and there are times where we have to cry those in order to get it out. There's a song by a girl called Pixie Lott here in the UK, and the song was called Cry Me Out, and those were the lyrics, like, you'll have to cry me out. And sometimes that's what we need, right? That being said, it's a time for you to reassess your worldview and let go of limiting beliefs that no longer serve you because they're keeping your mind small. This is where you have a chance to release or to remove or to sever ties with whatever doesn't really allow you to expand your mind or to connect to people of a like mind and soul. This is kind of like where you cut yourself off from the world because of what you bought into as a belief. You might feel called to revisit an old project of interest around learning. Maybe you decide, you know what, it's time. I'm going to go back to school and get my degree. Maybe you decide, at this time, actually, I think it's going to be really beneficial for me to go back to an old way of taking things on board, especially for those of you that are kinesthetic learners. This could be a time where it's like, you're like, okay, I need to get this back into my body. Like for me personally, when I used to dance a lot, one of the things that I found, like for me, I had to see somebody else hit the shape in order to replicate it, right? It wasn't just about sort of learning the steps and moving my body. I actually had to see visually what somebody was doing with their body in order to hit that. So this might really help for you as well. Mars retrograde is about reflection and repair, right? So this could be repairing, your relationship with or to learning or learning institutions, or even teachers, mentors, coaches, and gurus. Could be decluttering your mental and emotional space as it relates to these things. Any toxic or sort of frustrated ties to your personal growth could be released at this time. And it may also be a time of finding transformation, even if it feels challenging, by allowing yourself to see where you've been closed-minded. For this, you've got the Lovers card, and it can be as simple as a choice. You've got the Page of Cups, and you've got the High Priestess. Okay, pay attention to this transit, right? Pay attention to this Mars coming back into Cancer, because you're going to be revisiting this in Cancer season. Whatever you are releasing now, you will be cementing the work that you do at this time as you come into late June, early to mid-July. This is going to be a very powerful transit for a lot of you, and it may also help you discover how the partnerships, connections, and collaborations that you have on a personal, professional, and platonic level are really shaping up in regards to the baggage that you are now ready to release. Could also be that this is the work that you do here with this Mars in the 9th really helps you switch on your intuition in a very powerful way. So the next transit I want to talk to you about is, this was already there, so you've got the North Node moving into Pisces. My South Node went up the Hoover pole, unfortunately, right? And then you've got the South Node here in Virgo. So the North Node is about what we're driving towards, what we feel that healthy obsession to really go after or to bring into our world, or something along those lines. Now, the South Node in Virgo, which for you, so North Node is in Pisces in your 5th, South Node is in Virgo in your 11th, right? This is what we're moving away from, repelling, getting rid of, or excreting from our lives. Now that North Node in Pisces, because this is along the 5th, 11th house axis, it's really about your like bringing a focus on your role in the collective versus your personal joy and creativity. North Node in the 5th house can absolutely bring children. So if you're looking to conceive or to start a family, this next 18 months is a chance for you to do that. The North Node in Pisces in your 5th, it's like you're being called to embrace creativity, romance, self-expression, a new way of sharing yourself, being open to new romance if you're single, being open to new ways of doing romance if you're partnered. It's a time for you to really trust the flow of inspiration and to follow like your heart into and around all creative endeavors. So love that for you. This South Node, what you're moving away from or repelling or getting rid of, Virgo is about service. Where you've been too much of service, or you've given enough, or you've focused enough on other people's wants, needs and desires in that space. This is a chance for you to get rid of that, right? Are you holding on to relationships or goals that no longer really align with your values? This is also the house of gains from your business. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting rid of that. I think this is you getting rid of the blockages. It's kind of you asking yourself, why am I not making so much money from my work or my business? What am I ready to release in order to do that? And this is about creating, finding more creative energy in you, using your creativity, using your ideas to get paid from those things as well. Time to detox your social circle, to focus on what really brings you joy. It's also a time for you to let go of patterns around making space, or should I say around letting go of patterns around how you show up in the group of friends. Like, are you the person that's always mediating, always fixing things, always helping people? And it's not to say that you can't do those things. It's just to say this is you wanting or driving towards a more reciprocal experience of friendships, connections, partnerships. And it's also your higher aspirations, visions, goals and dreams. What the reason, you know, the South Node in the 11th, this doesn't mean that you're no longer dreaming big. It means that you've found your dream and you're going to focus on that. Once you've found it, once you know what you're driving towards, you can stop imagining now and just start building towards that, right? Okay, so for this, you've got the 8 of Swords. It's an 18-month transit. You've got to be in it for the long haul. You've got the King of Swords. This is about owning and claiming your expertise and being really sure on what it is that you deliver. And then the 2 of Wands, and then being okay with charging the big bucks for it. Or more importantly, accepting help from the right people when that time comes. It could also be that an Aquarius, Gemini or Libra person is a part of making this happen for you. Now, for your lunations, on the 13th of the month, we've got a full moon in the sign of Cancer, which will be conjunct Mars. This is again in your 9th house, conjunct a Mars retrograde. That 9th house of beliefs and higher learning is bringing healing and expansion to your worldview. And it's also revealing to you what beliefs are actually holding you stuck. Mars retrograde is stirring up some kind of challenge or frustration around long-term goals or philosophies. And it's maybe helping you kind of say like, okay, this is where my beliefs or my programming in some way, you got a jumping card there, and it is this. And it's you kind of getting clear on, okay, you know what, I need to let that go. Now, as if all of that wasn't enough, your card for this from the Human Design Oracle deck is the Gate 30 and Holding. This is 2 things. One, it's about holding to what your vision is, right? And the 9th house is a vision house. It's visionary. It looks out to the future. It looks out to the international world. And this transit is also in a sextile to Uranus and in a trine to Neptune and the North Node in Pisces. This is a time to release limiting beliefs or outdated ideas that no longer really resonate with your like desire for where you want your life to go. Uranus in the 7th is showing you that partnerships or shifts in partnerships might actually help you to grow. And this card is saying hold to what your vision is, but more importantly, you got to go where the big stuff is. Right? If you want the big results, if you want the big, whatever it is, right? Ninth house is also publishing, how you reach large swathes of people in one go. Sometimes, if you've seen the film Avatar, you'll know what I'm talking about. He says, if you want to make a splash, you got to go where they ride these animals that fly, and there's one that's bigger than any other one of them. And he's like, you know what? I'm not going to ride the small one anymore. I'm going to go for that big one to show everybody that I mean business. Sometimes that's what you need to do. Now, on the 29th of the month, you've got a new moon in the sign of Aquarius. This for you is in your 4th house of home, family, property and real estate. This new moon is highlighting your 4th home of foundations, forming a supportive, very nice trine to Gemini in your 8th house. This could be bringing an inheritance. It could be bringing some kind of transformative idea or interaction through your family. It's also a really powerful time to set intentions around creating greater stability and harmony for yourself in your living situation or your familial life or connections. You might receive financial support for a home-related matter, such as like a renovation or a relocation. It could be your family member comes through and says, you know what, I got you, here's a little something. Your part of fortune in a conjunction to this suggests that the blessings related to your home or family, and it could manifest through finding the perfect place to live, healing a family dynamic if there's been challenges in that, receiving support that helps you feel more secure, and especially on an emotional level as well. And trust that this moon is bringing you toward a stronger emotional foundation and bringing you stability that you need on a material level. For this, you've got the gate 63 and doubt, and the message behind this is really and truthfully, doubt is just another emotion. You got to get rid of that. All right, you got to find a way to release that, and sometimes the best way is to change your surroundings. Right, one thing that I often encourage my clients that are parents, and if they're married and they've got kids, I often say to them, make the decision that you need to make outside of the home, because then you haven't got the kids staring you in the face in the pictures. You're not thinking about, that my partner needs this and da 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 da. Sometimes you've got to make a decision for yourself and remove whatever it is causing that doubt for you. All right. With that said, I'm losing the light, so I better go. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Happy damn New Year. Take care. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up, and I will see you soon.